What is going on, everybody? It is Kiki Nasty here. I have my morning coffee. I have our 2-week budget here, and I am going to show you guys how to get your groceries without breaking your bank, because genuinely, this has been a problem for me probably since I got out of my parents' house, you know what I mean? I was 17 in my first apartment, and I live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, to this day, I'm a barista for a living. I live paycheck to paycheck. So today I'm going to be walking you guys through what I do so I stay on budget for my groceries, and also what I do to stay healthy with my groceries, because I still eat a low-carb, high-protein diet, but I want to show you guys how I do that on literally $50 for every 2 weeks, so just $100 a month on groceries. Let's get into it. I'm going to switch you guys over to our full view here. I have our first step in the process, which is honestly to make a list of foods, basically, a list of meals. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let's get into this. So what I do is, this is for 2 weeks. I list out 3 breakfast ideas, 5 meal ideas, and 3 snack ideas that I would be comfortable eating quite regularly. And by that, I mean I usually prepare 2 to 4 of each of these for my 2 weeks. And it kind of depends on how much I want those things, how cheap they are, how accessible they are, that kind of stuff. So getting into the breakfast ideas first, Greek yogurt cups. Greek yogurt is super high in protein. It's a really good filling meal, and it's also pretty cheap. So that's a great idea for breakfast. Eggs and toast, always a good idea. Sometimes I replace toast with low-carb wraps, because bread is super high in carbs, so I do try to switch those out for tortilla wraps, sometimes spinach wraps, that kind of stuff. I'll show you guys that a little bit later in our grocery list. Then we have peanut butter rice cakes. That's one of my favorite things to eat. I eat that as a snack. I eat that as breakfast. Sometimes I throw some bananas on top of it to get myself some extra potassium, some extra calories, some extra carbs in there. And then we have 5 meal ideas that I'd be comfortable eating quite a bit. The first one, I actually got this kind of off of TikTok. It's just tuna, rice, and nori, which I usually throw some soy sauce and mayonnaise in with the tuna. And I just kind of eat it like deconstructed sushi. It's really easy to eat. It's really quick to make. So if I'm really tired after a long day of work, that's a really nice one to throw in there. The next meal idea is burger and roasted veggies. Like I said, I don't usually buy bread. I usually buy tortillas. So I like to get burgers and kind of put them on a salad bed or something like that, and get it with some roasted veggies. I'll throw some carrots in there, some potatoes in there, anything like that. I'm super into that. We have zucchini noodle pasta with protein. I usually put protein on there instead of a specific meat unless I'm craving something. In my household, we actually don't eat any animal-based meat, so all of the protein in our house is plant-based. It's another reason why I just put protein, is because sometimes you go to the store, you see really interesting new plant-based protein you want to try, so some sort of protein for that. I could get fake chicken, I could get fake beef, whatever I want there. And then we have a green bean and protein casserole. For green bean and protein, I usually just put more beans in there, so I'll put kidney beans, black beans, that kind of thing. I could also throw in some veggie grounds if I was into that, some of those chorizo grounds that they have, all that's really good. And then another super easy one, super easy, you got me there, super easy meal idea is gonna be canned soup and crackers. I work really long days, and sometimes I work until 9 or 10 p.m. So I really want a couple of meal ideas. The tuna and the soup are the main ones here that don't really take a lot of time for me to prepare, 5 to 10 minutes tops, and it's still a good, really filling meal that has a lot of protein, has a lot of carbs and calories. And then my 3 snack ideas. All my snack ideas for me personally, I try to keep under 1 to 200 calories, so that's why I have these specific things listed. I have smoothies, which I prepare in 2 to 4 like I do for the rest of these things. Protein bars, which you usually buy in packs of 4 to 6, so those are usually good for a few days. And then popcorn, which popcorn, if you get low carb, smart calorie popcorn, is actually pretty healthy for you, and it's a super filling snack. So I can show you guys more of that on our grocery budget list, but that's a great idea. I think this is the perfect place to start, just so you have an idea of what you're gonna eat. And this doesn't have to be as rigid as what I'm putting here. I put this here so I can make an ingredients list, which is what I'm gonna show you guys next. That's how I stay on budget, is each week I go in with set ingredients I'm gonna get. I usually don't stray too far from those ingredients unless I know I have an extra couple of bucks to spend in my budget. So I will show you guys that now, getting over to my ingredients list. I make the next one with Excel, and if you guys wanna see, I personally actually just write all of this down, but I made all of this into Excel and documents to be a little bit easier to read, because I figured you guys wouldn't be able to read my chicken scratch handwriting. So getting into the budget list here, this shows you ingredient by ingredient what we need to get. So I do write down every ingredient that I need for these. I don't just write down ingredients I'm gonna have to buy. So just to give you guys an example, like for my meals, I had like the tuna, nori, and rice. So I wrote down canned tuna, nori, sushi rice, and soy sauce and mayonnaise. Like I said with that, I write down every single ingredient. I don't need to buy every ingredient, so you'll see if I put a little dash here, that means I don't need to buy it. I already have some. I already have some nori, I already have soy sauce, I already have mayonnaise. So this is how I list out every single thing, so I know I'm getting every single thing that I need to make the things that I already listed, but I do still get to kind of take inventory of what I have before I go to the grocery store. Now, when I write this down on a piece of paper, I usually write down all of my meals at the top, and then I write down all my ingredients, and I'll just cross them out if I already have them at home, or I'll put like next to them. I usually write the price at the store, so if I'll put just like a 0 next to it, I'll put like a dash next to it so I know. But I'll show you guys here. I went through every single thing, my breakfast, my meals, my snacks, and everything. I put down every single ingredient that I would need. I came out with 25 ingredients total, which if you have like a $40 or $50 budget, which is what we're currently working with, getting 25 ingredients, you know, budgeting at about like $2 an ingredient, that's actually pretty possible. I will show you guys here, I obviously did already have some of these ingredients, which means that I can spend more on, like, you know, my veggie grounds and stuff like that. If I don't have a lot of money for protein, I will skip out on getting the fake meat, and I will just get something like more canned tuna, or I will get more beans or something like that, something that's a little bit of a cheaper protein. You can always do that for yourself too. Work within your budget, work with what you got, you know what I mean? So I marked out everything that I already had. I had 9 of the items, which means that I only have 16 to buy. 16 items on a $50 budget is absolutely doable. And then I have already gone to the grocery store. If you guys live in the Pacific Northwest, I highly recommend Winco. Winco is great. I love Winco. I love any place where you can get a large amount of food for low budget, especially if you need to buy in bulk, especially if you're buying for multiple weeks at a time. That kind of stuff is always going to be a lot better for your budget. You can usually find pretty good deals at places like that, or if you go to like grocery outlets, that's usually where I buy things. The nori that I got, I actually did buy it at Winco, I think a month ago or something like that, and I got a 9-pack for $5, which is like super cheap if you know anything about nori. Nori's pretty expensive if you go to like Safeway or like a regular grocery store, so going to places like a grocery outlet or a bulk food place, that is always going to help your budget, so I highly recommend shopping at those places. But this is literally what I paid for everything at Winco. So I had 4 cans of tuna. I'm going to tell you guys how many I got, because I did just put kind of like how many I needed here. By the way, this is another great thing to do. If you know your recipes in advance, or if you know just kind of like an assumptive quantity, you can always write down how many you're going to actually need at the grocery store, so you can just buy that quantity and you don't overbuy. Because sometimes if you just put, for me personally, I am extremely neurodivergent. If I just put down like black beans, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need black beans. So I'll go and I'll buy like 4 to 6 cans of black beans because they're super cheap, and I'll be like, okay, yes, I'll definitely use that many, but in reality, in a 2-week span, I'm probably not going to use 6 cans of black beans, you know what I mean? So I like to go in and I like to put an amount, so that way I don't get too overzealous when I'm at the grocery store, or I don't see a really good deal and kind of go crazy, because, you know, that's how marketers work. They work by using your impulse. So I write down exactly how much I need if I know how much I need. If I don't know, then I'll put like an assumptive, like 2 to 4 cans, 2 to 4 packs, 2 to 4 patties, that kind of thing, if I don't know exactly how many I'm going to need. But just to walk you guys through what I did actually buy and how much it costs, I bought 4 cans of tuna. It cost $3.12 because I think they were like 70 cents a can. I already had the nori at my house. The sushi rice, it was only $1.36. Now you guys might be like, where the hell did you find sushi rice that cheap? At places like Winco and Costco, Sam's Club, that kind of stuff, you can usually buy things out of their giant bins. And so that's actually how I got that for so cheap at Winco, is they have these little bags that you can just put up to basically a giant chute or a giant bin of rice. They have flour, they have spices, they have a lot of things that people need to have a lot of. They sell it in mass quantities, so they sell it per pound, and I think the sushi rice is like $5 a pound or something like that. So I just get literally like 2 to 4 cups every time I go, and it's about $2 every time I go. So if you need things like sushi rice, which are usually, you know, $14 for 5 pounds at the grocery store, you can go to a place like Winco and get a smaller amount. You know, it's more built for your life, more built for your budget. That's kind of why I like going into grocery stores like that as well. Anyway, continuing on here, our soy sauce and mayonnaise, I already had both of those guys. I love mayonnaise, I love soy sauce, I put them on everything, not gonna lie to you guys. Veggie burgers, I got a 4-pack, I believe, for $3.27. I got Boca burgers, mwah, amazing. Cheese, you might be like, why was 3 cups of cheese $6.98? I'm gonna tell you why, okay? When I bought that cheese, I actually bought a giant pack of cheese that was 8 cups, because if you do buy, like, things like cheese or milk or anything that is a necessity in an American household at a place like this, they do have them in giant bags. I was actually going to buy sliced cheese and shredded cheese because I like both for different reasons, but they had a really good deal on the, I think it was 8 cups of cheese. Usually they sell them in 2 cups of cheese for like $3. They had the 8 cups of cheese for $7. So I just went ahead and got the big one. Cheese is a staple in my life. I love it a lot. So if you do see a good deal in the moment and it does work for your budget, feel free to work with it. But that's just kind of one that worked out for me. Not all of them do work out for me. I will say, like with the canned tuna, they did have canned tuna at the very front of the store that was 90 cents a can that they were like selling on a promotion. But when I went back to the aisle, they had some that was 78 cents. So it does actually help to like walk through the whole store. I know you guys might be like 20 cents. Why would that matter? But 20 cents for 4 cans, that's almost $1 in savings. And when you only have $50 to work with, every dollar matters. So that is the big thing to think about too. Really use every cent and every dollar within your budget smartly. Double check the prices, make sure that you're actually getting the best deal by walking through the whole store. It's going to take you an extra 3 or 4 minutes to go through the actual aisle versus like an extra $3 or $4 you could be spending when you're literally living paycheck to paycheck. That's a huge difference. Continuing on, I got salad mix. I got a full thing of it for $2.98. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. I already had cans of mixed veggies and green beans from the last time I went shopping, so I didn't need to buy those guys. I got 2 cans of black beans. I think they were like 90 cents a piece for $1.72. I got a pack of zucchini noodles. Now, zucchini noodles, they are a little bit expensive if you compare them to pasta. $3.65 for 1 pack of zucchini noodles. However, I will say they make usually 2 to 3 servings per package, and they are much lower carb value. So I like actually spending the little bit of extra money that it costs to get them because they're lower carb value and they're still very filling. They're low calorie. They're super useful. I usually throw those in with some pasta sauce and veggie sausage like you see on the thing here, and they are absolutely delicious. I love zucchini noodles. The pasta sauce that I have actually is also zucchini. Mwah, Prego zucchini. It's so good. So good. I already had a jar of that though because it's one of my faves, so I usually buy that whenever I find it. I got veggie sausage. That was a little bit more expensive than I wanted it to be, unfortunately. $3.39 for that guy. I got 2 cans of soup for $1.72 together. Soup is a great staple to lean back on because it's usually super cheap. It's usually super accessible. It's really easy to heat up, like I was saying earlier. It's quick, fast, and in a hurry. It works so well for a budget, you know, it's great. You can also throw extra things in with soup, like if you need some extra carbs or some extra calories. A really great thing to throw in is like you could get some saltines. I did not put saltines on this list. I should have. That's my bad. I did already have some at home though, so I didn't think about putting it on the list. You could also throw in some bread. You could even like heat up some tortillas in the oven and like make tortilla chips kind of out of it and throw that in there. You could also make some cornbread. Cornbread is like 90 cents for a whole container of it, and that makes a good 12 to 15 servings. So you could always do something like that that adds some extra caloric value. It makes you feel really full, but it's still not going to be heavy calories. It's still going to be smart carbs. It's still going to do something that's good for your body and also still make you feel full, but it's not going to break your budget. So that's a really good idea if you need something else other than just soup to fill you up. I got veggie grounds as well. You can also always throw like extra protein in soup. Like that's another reason I get canned soup, is I'll just throw extra protein in there. That's one of the reasons I get veggie grounds, is because I just will cook those separately from the soup and throw them all together. Put some extra protein in there, extra calories in there that are smart but also cheap. I got my Greek yogurt. I got 4 cups. I got strawberry cheesecake Greek yogurt, dog. I've never had it, but it was 80 calories a cup and it was 12 grams of protein, and I was sold on that. I was sold on that. That was $3.66 for 4 cups, which is pretty good. If you can get Greek yogurt for like that much protein at that little cost, I definitely say go for it. If it's under $1 a cup, I'd say that's a good price on Greek yogurt. That's just me personally. I got a dozen eggs. Eggs are cheap as heck. You get them for $1.52. Gucci. Bread, I ended up scrapping the bread because I do have tortillas already at home, the carb smart tortillas. I do enjoy doing tortillas instead because they're lower caloric value, they're lower carb value, and they usually go just as far as bread does. You know, 2 pieces of bread, 1 tortilla usually does about the same thing for you, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee real quick, 1 second. That's another thing that's a staple in my life. I will say I am blessed as a barista. I do get food at my job sometimes. I do get coffee every day at my job, so I don't have to buy coffee for my house. I am spoiled in that way, so if you guys have to buy coffee and stuff like that, kudos. Definitely feel free to add that onto your plan. I don't add that on because I already get it for free at work. Moving on here, I already had rice cakes and peanut butter. Those are both super cheap though. I don't recall how much they cost, but they are very cheap. I got low-carb popcorn. I only needed to buy 4 packs, but I got a full pack, so I have 8, so I probably won't need to buy that for another month or 2. That's another benefit to buying at places that are buying and selling in bulk, because you will get more than you need sometimes, and that actually does, when it is something that is shelf-safe, work out for you in the long run. I got protein bars. I got 6 of them for $4.99, and then I got fruit. Okay, fruit can be really expensive. You're like, how did you get 6 cups of fruit for $1.47? Fruit can be really expensive, especially if you buy frozen fruit, especially if you buy fresh fruit, especially if you buy organic fruit. So a really good way to get around that is to buy fruit that is like either on sale or more easily accessible. So how I got that much fruit is I actually got like 8 or 9 bananas, I believe, for $1.47. Bananas are great because they're about 100 calories for a small banana, 120 for a medium banana. They are really filling. They're really good for breakfast because they're easy to take on the go. They're also easy to throw into a smoothie because they have a great consistency. They're super creamy, super yummy, super sweet. So I highly suggest going with bananas if you need a cheap fruit, but you still need something that's going to be filling, because they are very accessible. They're literally at every single store. They're usually less than like 50 cents a pound at most places. I think at the Winco I went to, they were like 47 cents or something like that a pound, and I got like 3 pounds, so it works out in the long run. And then almond milk, that was actually something that I threw in while I was at the store. I didn't intend to buy that, but I wanted to throw in something for my smoothies, so I got that as well for $3. And the total with everything was $48.36. Now, I did buy other things, or else I would have just thrown on the receipt, but my total at the store ended up being like $61 because I got other things that I did not intend to use for my groceries. So that is why I had to write this whole thing out as well. I didn't want to show you guys the receipt and you guys be like, that's the $60, you said 50. Yeah, I know. This is the true accuracy for what it would be if it was just the things that I bought for my weekly groceries. And this is how you spend $50 in 2 weeks. This is how you get $100 in a month of groceries and not starve. Because this, like you saw over here, is 6 breakfasts. This is 10 meals. This is 6 or more snacks, you know, and this is more than this as well. Because if you look at it, the Greek yogurt cups, I got 4 of them. That's 4 breakfasts. You get a dozen eggs, that's going to be good for more than 1 breakfast. You know what I mean? That's going to be good for like 3 or 4 breakfasts. I put 4 rice cakes, but I still have a whole pack, so I have 6. So I could probably do like 3 or 4 breakfasts on that as well. So this is probably like 10 breakfasts instead of it being 3, you know what I mean? And that's why I put ones that you can eat multiple times. I put ones that are easy for you to eat, ones that are easy access, because instead of 5 meals, this is probably like 15 to 20 meals, because you're making multiple servings at a time, and you are also buying for multiple servings at a time. So that's kind of why I do it like this. That's why I laid out for myself beforehand and put all these amounts, so that way at the end of the day, I do actually get enough to feed myself for 2 weeks. It might not work for you guys, but I think this is a really smart way to do it. And if you do buy online, if you buy, like, I know a lot of places like Safeway, they do have grocery delivery, or they have like grocery buy online, pick up in store. You could always do that, and that would help you guys budget a lot more as well, because you would see the physical prices that you were spending before you actually put it in your cart at the store, before you check out at the store. So if that's another thing that's going to help you guys out, I highly suggest that you do that. I'm a huge advocate of anything that's going to help you guys not break your budget, and also just like help you live a healthier, more accessible life. Like, that is what my channel is kind of going for. I really want to help people that are just average people get there, because I'm an average person. I literally live a paycheck to paycheck life, and I achieve feeding myself every single day, 3 times a day, feeling absolutely full and feeling absolutely healthy. So that is the only reason I make these videos. I want you guys to feel just as confident as I do with stuff like this. I hope this guy actually helps some people out there, and if it did, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, please subscribe if you enjoy. I put out more Fitness Friday videos every single Friday, so there will be more of this. Today I'm actually putting out 2 videos, and then next week there will be another video. I usually cover workouts, I cover budget, I cover fitness, I cover health, I cover everything on Fitness Friday, and on every other day of the week we do gaming, we do fun, we do vibes. So Come check it out. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Stay fit, stay healthy. Love yourselves. Bye bye.